A Wayne County judge noticed a disturbing pattern. Time and again, kids suspended from school for minor offenses ended up in his courtroom for committing crimes during that suspension.
Well, today he is proposing a solution. 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell is on the story. She continues to find ways to fix our schools. So what needs to change now?
Zero tolerance policies per this judge. Wayne County Judge Frank Szymanski says it's understandable there would be zero tolerance for, say, having a gun in a school. But many policies are a disaster. They kick kids out of school for having a cell phone, being late, or violating a dress code. Today he invited us to one school that proved such policies don't work.
Jason Gullett spoke today before court officials, school leaders, and the media. The high school junior feels confident and valued at Crestwood High School in Dearborn Heights. It's not how he says he felt at his last school.
My grades are now like C's and B's.
And before you were failing classes?
Yeah.
Jalen's old school had a zero tolerance discipline policy. He says one time he jokingly threw a pencil towards a classmate and got kicked out of class.
How long were you suspended for throwing a pencil?
3 days.
Did you hurt anybody?
No.
Getting rid of kids isn't helping anybody. So getting to know the student and getting to know the real reason behind the trouble that they're causing is always the best way to go about it.
This is Jalen's new principal, John Tefelsky at Crestwood High. For throwing a pencil here, Jalen might have to do community service, talk to a counselor, or stay late for detention. But he would not be suspended. A few years ago, the school stopped suspending kids except for in extreme circumstances. The result? Better grades. And the dropout rate fell in 3 years from about 4% to 1%.
A lot of the schools around don't have an excuse for not doing this and not changing now.
No student should ever talk back to a teacher. No student should ever be late for class. But we live in the real world. These things happen. So we need to correct behavior, but we need to correct it without having our first option be kicking a kid out of school for 5 days.
Judge Frank Szymanski says everyone needs to know, all too often, suspensions lead to academic failure and crime.
44% of juvenile crime takes place during the school day. That's an obscene figure.
Now, Judge Szymanski says overbearing zero tolerance policies hurt society, lead to higher dropout rates and incarceration rates. If your child is kicked out of school because of such a policy, we want to know about it. Email me at fixmyschool@WXYZ.com.
Certainly makes sense. I mean, kids need help, not to be thrown out.
It's actually a big issue, especially as it relates to black males. Apparently, they are targeted more for this kind of suspension activity than other students. So, yeah, this is definitely something that needs to be discussed.
The judge called it a pathway to prison, what we're doing when we set kids up to not believe that the place they need to be is in school and learning.
So we hope other schools are listening and they follow his lead, maybe. All right, thanks, Kim, for another good report.
Thank you.
All right. What